Come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me give you a little dose of reality.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Real Talk Fins Talk, where I'm your host, Steve Malloy, and joining me tonight, we have a very good all-star cast panel. We've got on Adrian from Rainy Day Podcast. We've got Curtis from Ace Per Head, and of course, the one and only Greg Mean from Fins Talk Sports Network. But before we get into the show tonight, I want to make sure that you all, as you're coming in, hit that like button. Make sure you hit it. If you're at any other platform and you're listening to this show, I don't care what platform you're on, come over here to the YouTube channel. Come over here, join the community, hit that subscribe button, especially if you're new to the channel, and then share with your friends, your families, and your neighbors. Guys. Oh, my. What a rough 2 weeks, right? What a rough 2 games. You know, after that Baltimore game, I keep calling the Baltimore, Indianapolis Colts game. I really thought the Dolphins were gonna come home and beat the Patriots, and I was wrong again twice. I hadn't beaten the Colts. I hadn't beaten the Patriots. Ladies and gentlemen, guys on the panel, I didn't think the Miami Dolphins were going to be this bad. Right now, they're sitting at 32. They're the last place team in the whole NFL.
Not that bad. All you could go is up from here.
I guess. I mean, yeah.
MTD starts today or tomorrow.
Well, speaking of going up from here, Curtis, I definitely need a shot of hopium. Because the last shot of hopium that I got is starting to wear off. And I'm starting to see and get a dose of reality. I'm getting a dose of my own reality here. This is crazy. Oh man. But anyway, let's get go ahead, good. Curtis. What are you gonna say?
This is just the final form of the form we saw at least midway through 2022. And we're in the final form, and that final form is going to El Toilito, going to meet the tidy bowl man at the bottom of the drain. Nothing else. It's truth. It's just it is.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I'm trying to hold on. I'm trying to hold on to my last shot of hopium. I really am.
Do it.
I'm going for withdrawals. I'm going for withdrawals right now. I'm starting to get my own dose of reality. I'm starting to see the reality of the situation. But I don't know. I'm going to have to reach for it. I'm going to have to. Well, I don't know about this week because we're playing the Buffalo Bills. But man, at some point in this year, I've got to see something, some daylight here with the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
But let me ask you guys this, and I'm going to start with Greg first. Now, before I even get started with that, the Colts game was bad, very, very bad, right, all the way around. But I did see a glimmer of hope in the Patriots game with the offense, right? They were starting to come on a little bit, and getting a rhythm going and all that kind of stuff. And to be honest with you, I don't know if you all seen this, but I think Mike McDaniel has adjusted a little bit and has changed the scheme around just a little bit. Maybe adding another wrinkle here, or maybe even trying to go a little more pro style, set, in offense speaking. Did you all see that? And I'm going to ask Greg first. Greg, what do you see in this concepts and in scheme that Mike McDaniel has created here?
Well, I'll say this. All right. The coverage in the passing game, all right, has been focused on the entire defense. Essentially, has been focused on taking Waddle and Hill away. All right, and it was going to be who is that third person in the passing game, and that third person has been Achane, but it's usually been Achane on short screens and swing passes and things like that. He rarely works the middle of the field. The touchdown pass that he caught
was beautiful
on that little option route, breaking route, basically is the epitome of what we've been seeing defenses play against Miami. They're so focused on taking away Hill and Waddle were outside. Everybody went outside and basically vacated the middle of the field, and Achane essentially went up the middle untouched. All right. I appreciate that. If you're going to run this offense with those two guys out wide, you need to be able to attack the middle of the field with somebody else. All right. San Francisco does it with Kittle. Okay.
Yeah.
Because they have a tight end who can actually play the game of football. All right.
Well, we don't have Jonah. We don't have Jonah anymore.
Well, Jonah did it to a limited effect last year. All right. Jonah underperformed last year. Even as good a season as he had, he still underperformed yards. He was below yards per expected play. All right, in general, right? This year they don't have that, and Achane basically has been the one shining spot on the offense here. All right,
amen.
So I don't like him carrying the ball more than like 5-6 times a game. I don't think he's a primary running back, but he's a weapon out of the backfield. And we can talk about why he is hurting Miami's running game. And as a pass protection scheme, we can talk about that. But as a playmaker, I like him on the field. You just don't give him the ball running the game. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, but I mean, I get your point. I understand totally what you're saying. And I agree. He's not the guy that we want to, him pounding the rock 12, 13, 14 times a game. I'd rather see him outside, making some, making some pass plays, right? Getting some catching some passes. But the thing is, who else is there to take that spot? Who else is going to shine the light on this offense? Nobody else is doing it. Tyreek isn't doing it. Waddle isn't doing it. Who else are we going to get to do it? Ollie Gordon is only getting.
You got to get the ball to Malik.
2 touches a game. Yeah,
you have to get the ball to Malik.
Yeah,
yeah.
I can agree with that too.
There's 2 things that are happening essentially. All right, defenses are saying we're not going to let Hill and Waddle dominate the game. We're going to limit them. Okay. And Miami needs that third person. That third person is Achane, but he can't be the primary person running the football. And that's the problem. He's the third person in the running game. All right. And McDaniel, look, you cannot allow a defense, all right, to dictate what you run on offense. All right. If a defense can line up a certain way and take away Hill and Waddle, you can't allow that to happen. You have to figure out ways to get them the ball. All right. Mm-hmm. Teams don't do that to Justin Jefferson. Teams don't, try to do that to Lamar Chase, and they still figure out ways to get them the ball. The biggest problem with this offense right now is they're not figuring out ways to get Hill and Waddle the ball. And that's a big issue.
I have a theory on that, but we'll get into that later.
Well, let me just piggyback on one thing, because
go ahead.
What Greg said is absolutely true. I saw something. I don't know if I'd ever seen. I haven't always been studying, but in my 4 or 5 years of doing this, I've never seen. So I always say you look at the defense and then you understand the mind of the DC. And then that mind of the DC tells you what he thinks about his defense and the opposing offense. So they played a 40 defense, 4 down linemen with wide alignment, sometimes wide 9. Okay. They played one technique most of the game, which means they're shooting gaps. Okay. They played linebackers 5 and 6 yards off the ball. Okay. Those linebackers were in read and drop. If you're playing one technique, wide alignment, 5 and 6 yards off the ball with very little react, and you don't blitz, that is like me coming up to you with your girlfriend standing there and me spit in your face, kicking you in the groin and saying, that's my girl. And you just sit there and go, okay. That is about the most. Listen, they've played us a lot, but they would play 2-gap. They would play much more narrow alignment. They would bring their blitzes up to 20%. Vrabel came in and he basically said, I don't have a secondary. I got slow linebackers. I'm going to blitz 10% of the time, shoot 1 gap, wide ends. My linebackers say, screw that noise. You're only going to run outside. I'm going to read because I know when you go outside, I'm going to get the jump and your linemen aren't going to get there. And I have no fear of your inside run game. There was 2 plays where they lined up 3 defensive linemen to one side, played a 5-6 technique on the end on the other side with 1 linebacker. And it was a hole between the guard like this, and we couldn't get one run off because Jonah, we ran wide zone left into the teeth of it. So then HN had to cut back, and Jones like this, looking at the linebacker in front of him. If he'd hit that guy, it would have been a touchdown. And they went nowhere. And then the next one, we threw a slant. So if you got to think about a psychology. If I'm a DC and I put that out there, and then you don't get it, and then you throw a slant, I'm like, dude, I got you. And the only reason it was even semi-successful is because they don't have a secondary and they got slow linebackers, which is the perfect framework for us to do the track meet. It won't get better than this. If that team can run that look, we can't run it out of them, and they could still kind of hold us at times. When we face a real defense, it's going to be bye-bye, baby blue sky. We're going to get put in the cemetery. That's not normal. Like, I have not seen the defenses we've seen on any other team in the history of the game I've ever seen. But this was like Scarface going to the pile of crack and going, let me show you my little. It was so out of touch with reality. It was so disrespectful. And that says to me, look, McDaniels is inept. Tua is limited. But clearly, with those looks, that offensive line should have blown. Could you imagine? No one would ever even dream of doing that to a top 5, top 10 team. They would be blown out of the earth. And so that says to me that there is inherent flaws beyond everything else, because that is an anomaly of anomalies. And so I think we're doomed. No hopium involved.
Well, I guess I'm going to have to just throw my hopium shot away, I guess. So
throw it away.
That just went out the window, man.
Throw it away.
You can take it, but you're going to be disappointed.
Wait, one last point. Think about this picture. You've got D linemen shooting the gap with linebackers who are terrified of linemen get to the second level. And they're playing 5 or 6 yards off, and you ain't blitzing. And that's insane. That is insane.
Yeah,
there's no hope.
It is insane. Yeah, it is insane.
So sorry, that was my thing. I'm done.
No, you're good. You're good, Curtis.
I'm spent. I'm out.
Adrian, what's your take? How did you see the what's the comparison from the Colts to the Patriots game? Do you see a lot of the same? What do you see that can we salvage this? Can we salvage this offense? Can we salvage this defense? What's your take?
No, definitely not. I mean, and it's a lot of things. It's not just, the players, and it's not just the coaching. It's all of it combined, really. You got Mike McDaniel, who just refuses to run the ball with a power back. He refuses to do it. He wants everything speed. He doesn't want any physicality going on. It's all finesse, and it worked. It did work in the
Yeah.
past, but
Yeah.
this teams have caught up. I mean, we hear this all the time. Teams have caught up. They're going to with his schemes, and then all the mismanagement and confusion. No communication. A lot of players said. Mike said. I mean, that's on him.
He said.
Yeah, that's on him. I heard Tua say today that the miscommunications were that they added a few new wrinkles and players didn't really know where they were supposed to be and with those new formations. So like how does that make sense? Y'all been practicing this for 4 months. So I mean it's like Curtis said, we're doomed, man. Like I don't see any good thing happening out of this season. Other than, you might develop, Malik into, the brand new slot receiver. I mean, Westbrook Akine has some good plays, and we only got him the ball twice.
Yeah.
Ollie Gordon, 1 rush, 8 yards, and it was a physical run. Didn't rush him again. Rather throw to him out the backfield for 5 yards. It's like, come on, man. What are we doing, man? I don't know. I'm like done with the whole thing. I'm ready to, start looking at the draft and seeing where we're gonna pick at by now, man. And it's only week 3. So tomorrow, I mean Thursday night, you better strap in if you think the Dolphins are even having a chance in this game, because they won't, man. They're gonna get abused.
Man, and I thought I was going to get some hopium from you, Adrian.
Dude, Bills are number 2 in points, number 2 in rushing, and number 2 in passing.
Oh my God!
Yeah. If we got 33 put up on us with the Colts and the Patriots, what do you think the Bills are gonna do? We're looking at a 40 or 50 burger easily.
Yeah, yeah, and with Josh Allen, right? I mean, we played against Danny Dimes and we played against Drake May. I can't.
And Daniel Jones didn't even have to run.
No, he didn't. He didn't have to use his legs at all. You're right, 100%, 100%. That's crazy.
The Dolphins have Ratliff on the schedule. He's maybe one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. But the 2 that we just played are on the bottom side of this. They're not top 20 quarterbacks. It only gets harder from here.
Yeah. Ratliff, we're gonna make Ratliff look like a top 10 quarterback. Watch.
Well,
I think we're going to make anybody we play a top 10 quarterback, to be honest with you. The way it's looking right now, it's a mess. I mean, like I said, guys, I tried to keep it, real this whole offseason. I tried to find some bright spots. I really did, and I didn't see any. And I there was a person on this very network, Vince Talk Sports Network. We went back and forth sometime during one of the preseason games. It was after one of the preseason games we played, and he was talking about Weaver, which at the time it looked like Weaver was going to be a great coach, blah blah blah. A good coach, not a great coach, because we still really didn't. He had a great defense last year, a decent defense last year. And I thought he would improve, but look at the crap he's been given, right? So you got to give him a little slack there. But the bottom line is we were going back and forth, and he was saying, he's saying you're being negative. You don't, I think this is going to be a better team than everybody says, and blah, blah, blah. Man, my blood started boiling at that point, and I said, you know what? Not only you, but a lot of fans this year are in for a big dose of reality. And guess what? It's hitting me right in the face too, because I believed it, but I didn't think it was going to be this bad.
You got more optimistic, like as we got closer to the season. I saw, and I was like, "Oh no, Steve!"
Yes, I told you. I took that shot of hopium. I really did. And
Steve, to your point, who thought Jonah would be this bad? Who thought that Daniels will go down 3 plays?
The defense.
Who thought Kohu would go down? I mean, plenty of us thought that was pretty crazy, basing a defense on Duck, a UDFA, and Jack Jones taking off the, who cares pile. And then Douglas pulled out of, so, we had to, there were things here that were clear, but there was stuff that wasn't, and it was shocking. But overall, it was very hard to see this season as being a success because it was Riverboat Greer rolling like he usually does. And the sad part is that people were out there telling you Duck's going to be great, Jack Jones is going to be great, everybody and their mother is going to be great. All 5 picks, Tanaka and Farrell Brown. He's an elite blocker. He's going to be the best blocker in the league. And Brewer coming out and says, "You think you could be a top 5 offensive line in the league?" He said, "Why not us?"
Right.
There's so much obfuscation and media hustle that it gets hard, even for me at times, because it's so inundating. So I always said 7 to 9 wins, but it's just difficult being a Dolphins fan because there's so much BS. It's all about the hopium ride, and we got bad luck.
Yeah, we got bad luck too because that's
replays.
Exactly.
And Austin had 4 injuries.
Exactly. And I said this on Rainy Day podcast, Adrian. You invited me on, and thank you for that. And I said, well, I think you asked me, what does Miami have to do, to win, right, and to be better or whatever this year. And I said, well, James Daniels has to stay healthy.
The kiss of death, Steve. Thanks.
I said Jonas Evanaya is gonna have to play like everybody's expecting him to play, right? I said all these rookies are gonna have to play extremely well. No injuries on the O-line, no injuries, the key is no injuries. Tua's going to have to stay healthy. Well, he's healthy, but he's playing like crap at least the first game. And he missed a lot of wide open receivers this last game. There were folks wide open, just like the Colts game, waving. And I don't know, man. You know what? I want to talk about that a little bit now that I mentioned that. I want to see if you guys see the same thing. And I'll start with you, Greg. Do you see Tua struggling out there more so than he has in the past, as far as his arm strength, even some of his processing, right, doesn't look right. He just doesn't look right in the head. He doesn't look focused. His mechanics are terrible, and he had 3 coaches right before last year to coach him up, and that was supposed to help with his mechanics and all this kind of stuff. Do you think maybe it could be his hip? Because maybe that hip is worse than what we all think, and maybe those concussions are starting to take the toll on him. Because some of the ways that he's acting, those are signs of folks that have had concussions and things like that. Just his whole change of personality. What do you think, Greg?
I don't want to get into injuries and concussions and that's going on.
Yeah, I get it. I get you.
Just from a football perspective, though. All right, when he was dominating in the MVP discussion in 2023, early on in the season and things like that, he was completing throws to spots. All right, I don't think he was necessarily reading defenses at that time. He was throwing the ball to a spot with timing, right, and it was being completed.
Right.
Toward the end of that year, defenses started taking away those spots. And what did that have to do? It forced him to start reading, all right? Reading the defenses and starting to process the coverages, all right? Combine that with the defenses backing off and basically trying to take away Hill and Waddle, or minimizing them, all right? And I say this all the time, defenses don't stop schemes, defenses limit players, all right? And one of the main players that you got to limit is the quarterback, all right? They got Tua reading, they got Tua thinking, and right now he's not doing it well. And it's basically from the end of 2023 through right now, the defenses aren't really doing anything different. All right. There's some different things going on in the front. They're mixing up some coverages and things like that, but it's basically the same. And you think about it this way as a coach, all right? And in the NFL is a little bit different, I understand. But if I'm coaching a game and I can play cover two the entire game, and you can't beat me with when I'm playing cover two, I'm calling cover two every time. You're not beating me. All right. And on offense, if I'm running the same play over and over again and getting 5 yards and you can't stop me, I'm running that same play over and over again. Essentially, that's what we've seen for a year and a half with the Dolphins offense. The defense is basically playing the same things over and over again, and it's limiting the offensive production. Achane is getting really good stats, but overall the offense isn't very good. Even against the Patriots, they only scored 20 points. In today's NFL, that's not good. All right. They've scored 28 total points on offense in 2 games.
Well, right? they scored 27 against New England, right?
One was a kick,
one's a punt return.
Oh yeah, you're speaking specifically of the offense. You're right. Yeah. No, you know what? I didn't even think of that. You're right. You're absolutely right. That context is everything, right?
Right. But that's this offense. And if you think about it, all last year, even when Tua played, this offense is contained. And it's hard to make a living on this. And we talk about the deep linebackers, and we talk about the forefront, and we talk about the secondary doing that, and defense is not needing to blitz and getting home and stuff. All of that is due because they haven't figured out how to beat it yet. And part of the reason why they're not figuring out how to beat it, in my opinion, starts at quarterback. It's at running back, because the running back, in a lot of ways, because you're playing Achane, changes even blocking schemes. Yeah. All right. Your pass protection changes because Achane can't pick up a blitz. You don't trust him to pick up the blitz. All right. It happens several times in the Indianapolis game where essentially a tight end who can't block, all right, Connor or Hill or somebody is blocking Buckner on the Indianapolis Colts because our offensive tackles have to step in to pick up the B gap blitz because they don't trust Achane to do it. All right, it's these little ripple effects throughout the entire offense based on the people that we are playing that the defense is taking advantage of, and it's getting brutal to watch.
Yeah. Greg, you don't think really having no running game has a lot to do with the offense not being as successful as it was in 2023 when we had that great running game where we were so balanced that teams had to play us differently?
Absolutely. Not being able to run the ball consistently and basically since 2024, the end of 2023 into 2024, as Achane became more involved in the running game, excuse me, the running game production has gone off. And part of that is because I don't think Achane, and the stats kind of prove this, but I don't think Achane is a proven runner behind an offensive line. He's a perimeter runner that's looking for holes and exploiting plays. He's not a cutback runner. He's not an inside runner.
Gadget guy.
He's a what?
Gadget guy.
He's a gadget guy. He's a 5 to 6 rush guy with a 5 to 6 reception guy a game. Mm-hmm. That's what he should be. The person who gets the majority of the carries needs to be somebody else. That's where I'm at.
Agree.
And I think, like I said, the stats kind of bear this out because last year, Achane, as the primary runner, rushed for like 130 yards below expected. All right. He was getting less yards, even with a bad offensive line. He was getting less yards than what he should have been. And we're seeing that again this year, in my opinion. You give the ball to Ollie Gordon once, he gets 8 yards. On a play where the defense is expecting a run. Okay. Let's try somebody else.
Yeah.
Don't do
Ollie
that
Gordon.
again during the rest of the game. Don't do it again.
No,
Mike.
don't try it again. Don't even have him in the game. I think he only had 6 snaps or something like that.
Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, just to add like a little point. So I saw Brady the other day, and he was saying, how come quarterbacks, they don't make it or whatever? And he said, first off, you're judging this quarterback. Well, what rating, 1 to 32 do you give the OC? OCs mean a lot. And so you got Dan Marino, best quarterback. In my opinion, and I'm not saying that because I'm a Dolphins fan, well, maybe partly, not all of it, is the best thrower to football forever. And he had no run game. And yeah, he came out of the gates hot, but then they started doing his zone blitz, and they grew it to know what he was about. And then he lost Dwight Stevenson, and he was never what he was those first couple of years. And football is about tension and leverage. And so if you got, to Greg's point, you've got Achane out there, and what does he do? He creates outside tension. But that's what the teams are stopping anyway, because we like to throw the screens. So you could stop the screens and outside runs with the same look, and that's what you're seeing now. And so there's no tension there. Now, a quarterback, you look at a Mayfield, who I think is a better quarterback than Tua, not skill set necessarily wise, but he can run. He's got clutch in his genes, but he was a nobody and now he's got one of the top run games. You look at Goff, you look at Darnold, you look at Jones over with the Colts, and there's guys out there who are special and are elite. They're still either enhanced or restricted by framework. And so you get a guy who's a lesser guy, and he's even more restricted by what the framework is. And so you've got a team that's outside throw, middle of the field throw, and deep throw. You don't have a tight end who can block or catch over the middle. You don't have an offensive line that can give you sustained time to throw or run the football in the middle. So there's no tension. All the tension is we got a limited menu. Sweeps, outside zone runs, screens, pocket posts, and deep throws. That's it. And all that stuff can be taken care of with the same look. That's why in 2023, and I talked about this at length, you saw the book develop where they saw the Denver Broncos get liquefied. So all they said is bring those edges out, drop the linebackers, stop blitzing, and the book kept developing. And now the book is so much that you could play one gap, wide alignment, drop your linebackers deep, don't blitz. And it's like kept ballooning, and there's no real, even Dan Marino struggled. I'd say Dan Marino in the last half of his career was better than Tua, but you could see he went from 48 touchdowns down to 44, then to like a 38, and then he was in the 20s. And when he didn't have Dwight Stevenson, he had almost as much interceptions as touchdowns. And so
he's always thrown a lot of interceptions, though.
Well, that's what happens when you throw a lot. That's the problem. When you throwing the football, you've got to get the snap. You've got to read the defense. The receiver's got to be on connection with you. You got to throw it through the air. You got elements, and then you got guys putting their hands up. It's naturally a finicky way to do business. And the most secure way is inside zone runs. So you're a highly inconsistent offense that adds in penalties, negative plays. And so I don't think Tua is a bottom 5 quarterback. I think he's in the level of a Mayfield or a Goff or a Daniel. I'm not saying he'd be good enough to win a Super Bowl, but this framework would suck anyone down. Even Josh Allen, first 2 years when he had these good years, they were blitzing him. And they said, why do we blitz him? They dropped off with the fumble Dorsey and fumble Dable. And all of a sudden he started going down, and we're all making fun of him. And I told Bills fans in 21 what the offense they needed. They go, no, this is not the old days. He's Josh Allen. And then they moved to it in 23, and all of a sudden he started taking off because there was tension. He creates way more tension than any other quarterback, but there's that push, pull, and tension, 4-way tension. And if you don't have 4-way tension, it's a problem, especially when you get a guy like Tua who can't move. He's small, can't throw deep outs.
Panics.
Yeah. But where's that panic come from? Remember, Daniels was a panicky guy. We called him crazy. I called him Crazy Eyes Jones. Like, this guy sucks. And all of a sudden he goes to the Colts and he looks like Joe Namath, or I should say Joe Montana. So I just think the framework's that bad. I think the OC.
Wow.
sucks.
That's
and then you've got a bad framework. So that's my 2 cents. I don't know. I'm right. That's what I think.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll say this.
But go ahead.
Curtis mentioned Tampa Bay with Baker Mayfield and things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
2023, they were one of the worst rushing attacks in the NFL. All right.
Mhm.
2024, they were one of the best with basically the same offensive line. What changed? The running backs. Running backs matter.
Fair.
Talent at running backs matters. All right.
That's very fair.
And we're one of the big reasons why Miami is struggling right now, in my opinion, is talent as a pure runner at running back.
I agree. There's no tension.
Yeah, I agree too. But can Ollie Gordon be that guy? Adrian,
Behind
can Ollie
Keon
Gordon be
Smith
that guy?
and Jonah and Brewer. You see, that's the whole thing. Greer, he just throws stuff on the table. He has no concept of team and matching and meshing. It just throws talent on there. You know, Paul is much better at inside zone than outside zone. Brewer is all outside zone. He's got no junk in trunk. Keon should be he should be on the bench. And then Borum shouldn't be a tackle. He's a C-string tackle. And look, Greg, he's way smarter than me, but he said something so astute. We sat down. I said, look at Jonah's foot. He's his first step. It comes up, it comes down in the same spot. And we went through that together. And he's like, that's coaching malpractice. In Barry, we trust, but he's going to allow his second and third round pick to come lift his foot up and put it down in the same spot. He's done. Jonah's done, and they haven't fixed it after all this time. And Greg was saying, you had all offseason. How do you go into preseason with your star, quote unquote, big pick who can't even take the first step right? And then Butch Barry, we trust. We heard about Butch Barry. He could fix anything. He was a magician. He was magical. That is, to quote the great Greg, coaching malpractice. But that's a symptom. Jonah's going to struggle because we got bad coaches. And they move them to the other side. Sorry.
And why is New England one gap on the offensive line? Because the guards can't move. All right. Why would you sit there and read in two gap when all you basically have to do is take one step and you're around them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect answer.
We saw that.
Perfect
we saw
answer.
that on film. We saw that on film too.
We've
And
seen it on film.
Yeah. And not only that, not only have we seen it on film.
I didn't think about that, Greg. Thank you. I'm glad I'm on.
But Jonah Severnaya today at media press conference, or the media was asking the question about his, about him being a guard for this Miami Dolphins football team. And guess what? The first thing he said he needs to improve on.
What?
His footwork.
Good work. Yeah.
Oh, whoa. How does a pro coach? Oh, I don't think I've ever seen that before. I mean, I'm sure I have, but like on that level with that kind of guy, the foot comes up, comes down, and then he takes another step. And how do you allow that? How is that fixed? Butch Barry is not. I don't trust in him. I don't trust in any of these coaching staff. I don't trust in everything from Greer to the coaches. And I don't know about Weaver and the individual coaches, but overall, it's a deleterious effect. Whatever these guys are, whether it's a 5 or it's a 10, they're bringing it down to 7. They're knocking it down. They bring guys down. Greer by putting mishmash and then these coaches. So you can't look at anything and say, what I'm seeing here is how good they really are for the most part. It could be, but if you have an offensive line coach who allows that is like, it's almost like the defense I saw with the Patriots. It's not on planet Earth. It's JV. A schmuck like me saw it, and I'm a nobody. So if a schmuck like me can see that, when I first watched film, because I really didn't watch much film, I was like, what is this? I said, what? I thought I saw the Sasquatch walking across the film. I said, what is this? Can't be. And it kept happening and happening and happening. I'm like, this can't be. This can't be.
It's crazy. But I want to thank everybody that's in the chat right now. I know Brett's been making a lot of comments. Thank you, Brett, for joining. We got Dolphins fan 1979. Raphael Courtright, my brother. We got Tommy Mayer in there. I saw 305 Doll. I want to get her name messed up.
Ashley. 305
Ashley.
Sports, babe.
Sports
They're going
Babe,
to
305
Buffalo.
Sports Babe. Yeah, I just saw that. She
Oh.
mentioned in chat she was going to Buffalo. Wow, she's brave, and Lou both brave.
Yeah.
But I appreciate
It's a
you for
beautiful
joining.
city.
I appreciate everybody in the chat that has joined tonight and making all these comments. This is what keeps this show alive, keeps me going. I just love it. I appreciate it for coming in the chat. Make sure you hit that like button. We need those likes so we can push those notifications out to other Dolphins that might like to come in over here and watch all this good content over here with my buddies. Rainy Day Podcast, Adrian. We got Ace Burhead, Curtis, and we got Greg Mean from Fins Talk Sports Network. Couldn't have a better panel. So, Adrian, let me go back to you real quick. I asked the question, what do you think about Ollie Gordon? You think Ollie Gordon can make it like what Curtis was saying, like what Greg was saying? Do you think Ollie Gordon can make the difference in this offense?
Yeah, and he's proven it. I mean, short sample size, but like one rush 8 yards. What was it? One rush 9 yards or two rushes,
something
and
like that.
yeah, in the first game. Just that physicality we really need it in this offense, man. It's lacking it. It's lacking. Everything's finesse. Everything is to the side. Everything is, unless we're throwing 30-yard bombs downfield that don't make it. That's the only thing we got, man. And Ollie Gordon will bring that physicality. The 3rd and 1s, even 3rd and 2s, 3rd and 3s, he can pick those up. This dude is running. He runs really hard, man. You don't really need a great line when you got a back like that. You could just like north and south and let's go. But he won't get the chance. They drafted him for no reason. It's pretty clear. They don't want to actually do what they said they were going to do, or what we all thought.
Exactly. And the same with Jalen Wright. Jalen Wright, they did the same thing with him, although he got a little more touches than Ollie Gordon, but they did the same thing with Jalen Wright, and they drafted these guys. They drafted them high, and well, no, they didn't draft Ollie Gordon, was a 5th round pick, but still, but I guess, what do you expect, right? He's a 5th or 6th round pick, whatever he was. Maybe that's the reason they don't put him, because of his draft status. I don't know. Politics. Who knows? But
my take would be this. So when I got to junior college, I played for a little bit. I was a running back. And so the offensive line and the blockers and the running back, it's a marriage. You can have 2 great people and they just don't get along because you're just not a match. And so we designed this offensive line. Paul, inside zone, not outside zone guy. Jonah, I don't know what he is right now until he can get basic footwork. I think he's more of a pass.
He's the worst. He's worse the guard. He's the worst guard in the NFL right now.
Yeah, but it's not his fault. It's not his talent. But it's not his natural ability. Brewer, he can't drive anybody home except midgets. Keon Smith is like, forget about it. It's Eichenberg 2.0 maybe, except he's not on the ground as much. And then Borum, he can inside zone a little bit, but he's so stiff-footed. He can't do outside. So you've got this up and down. You don't have any congruency on that line. And so a guy like Ollie or Wright, they need yards before contact. They need inside zone. Wright was at his best between the tackles on draws in college. Ollie just can't take it outside as much. And when he gets in there, Achane's speed off the field allows the defense not to be so tentative. And so that's part of the reason why I think he puts it out, that they need all the leverage they can get. And so I just think he's a good back. He's a guy who I would want on my team, but I certainly wouldn't have this offensive line, because you could even see with Ashton Genty, he's sucking because the guys are being blown back in the backfield. When he gets a decent hole, he looks good. And so my concern is that you've got this mishmash, terrible offensive line, and they could do outside zone when you got a fast guy because he just runs to the edge. But with Ollie, it might cause problems, but it's not. Again, people will say, oh, Ollie sucks, but it's not that. It's just not a good match. It's Greer's fingerprints screwing it all up.
So you talk about Genty, all right? 30 seconds, Steve. You talk about
No,
Genty,
go ahead.
right? And
You
things
got the
like that.
floor, buddy.
You're playing the Raiders, all right? You're focusing on stopping that run there, all right? Linebackers are uptight,
Yep.
all right. Defensive line isn't one gapping necessarily all the time. They're two gapping, basically creating piles, all right? There's a reason for that. It's because they want to stop that running back, all right?
Yep.
Miami, it's just the opposite. Everybody's deep.
Yes.
Everybody's one gapping, okay? So what I would like to see is Ollie Gordon basically be his own blocker. Let him one gap. Let the B gap. The three technique rush on the B gap. If there's a one technique on the other side, run somebody up through the A gap. Meet the linebacker that's sitting 6 yards deep. Meet it on the other side of the line of scrimmage, and let's see who wins. All right. We want to make the game more complicated than it is a lot of times. Okay. And Achan's not going to win that battle all that often. Gordon might, but we don't know because we haven't seen it.
No, because McDaniel's just nervous Nelly. He can't play a patient small ball game.
Correct. And like I said, sometimes offensive, coaches outthink themselves. Tariq Hill, all right, run fast and throw the ball far and go run under it. He did it, all right, against
can't do it
against the Patriots, all right. Kansas City against Kansas City against the Eagles. Send the guy deep, run fast, all right. Throw the ball, Patrick Mahomes. It's not that complicated sometimes, and right now the Dolphins are so much in their head. And it's so complicated because of the people that they have on the field can only do certain limited things that I think they got to change it up and just get simple again.
Well, to a certain extent. So like we saw a slant. I thought I was so surprised. I hadn't seen a slant in like a year. So simple things, simple concepts. Okay, you've got Hill and Waddle. Why aren't they on the same side? You do a simple over and under combination, pick up 5 yards and a simple curl comeback. You could do that just as fast. McDaniel, everything is posts and flies and outs or long crossers. He has no small ball game. He doesn't create any nuance on his route combinations. And something more basic. We had talked about this, Greg. We don't even have audibles. You get to the line of scrimmage and they're playing dime 90 yards off. It's like, well, it's a pass. We got to do it. So to me, the OC is full retard and everything sinks down. How do you not have simple? Look, you got Waddle on the outside, Hill playing the slot, Waddle post, and then you just have Hill do what looks like a fly and turn around for a curl for an 8 yards completion. How about you get 2 or 3 short pass plays for a first down? Where is the small ball? It's not there. Look at McDaniel, what he's doing. McDaniels. There's no route combinations. It's just all this because he offloads everything. He has this big verbiage that he starts and gets it out there late, and then he offloads it to the receiver and the quarterback. You figure it out on the field. He has no strategy. He's a conceptualist, not a strategist, and he's not a tactician. Other than that, Miss Lincoln, how's the play?
Sift through the ums and uhs.
Can you imagine that guy calling the play in?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
Already.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking, man. If he's anything like that, calling plays like he is at the podium, damn, no wonder we get all these.
He can't be. He can't be.
30 seconds
right?
to call a play.
I think he does. I think he does that just to expand out Phil so he doesn't have to talk to them.
Yeah,
that's what I think. It's got to be.
Yeah, it has to be. That's what I mean. Give me a shot of hopium. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But anyway,
he wants that shot.
Oh, that's not so bad, guys.
For the hope.
I'm begging for the hope, man. I got you guys on here. I'm the guy who's always called negative, and here I am jonesing for my shot of hopium, and I'm not getting it from you guys. I'm very disappointed, man. Oh boy. No,
Just
I'm
think
not
about
doing
this.
that.
Just think about it. Only the Dolphins would have queasy Philbin, who would admit he's queasy, crazy-eyed Gase, and then McDaniel. Look at those three guys. And Ross thought that Philbin was a young Don Shula. I mean, that's like
Yeah.
Twilight
Yeah.
Zone. It's almost like they're mocking us. It's like this is just like a huge, like what's
Yeah,
the movie with
exactly.
Jim Carrey when he's living in the TV show? Like, we're here to be the joke of the universe.
Yeah.
Terrible
yeah,
judgment.
Yeah. It is. It's like we're in a Twilight Zone, man. I don't get it, man.
Jim, oh no, what's that movie called? What's that movie called?
Is it the
Jim-
Truman
Oh,
Show?
I forgot.
yeah, the Truman Show. That's what I feel like. we're
Oh,
in,
yeah,
because
yeah.
How
Truman
do you
Show. Yeah.
screw it up like this and do this to us? It's so insane. You have Don Shula, George, cool, and then you go to Schmo, Blow, idiots. It's crazy.
It's crazy. So, since we're on the topic, and we got about 6-7 minutes left or so, I'm going to start with Adrian. If we lose to the Buffalo Bills, I'm still got that little
If?
bit of hope. I'm saying if
Come on,
if
man.
we lose to the,
Don't do
to
this
the
to
Buffalo
yourself,
Bills,
man.
guys. I know.
Don't do this to yourself. Take the
Yeah,
dose
okay.
of reality
I'll
and
put-
not the shot of hopium, please.
All right, here, I'll put it this way. After the Buffalo Bills game,
There you go.
okay, do you think Mike McDaniel will still be the Miami Dolphins football coach?
Yes,
Adrian?
and I would like to keep him for the rest of the season, at least until Spain. Let's lock up this #1 draft pick and let's go. Let's start the real rebuild. Clean house. I'm talking about everybody. I don't need anybody that's a part of this. Start over, brand new. Let's get some tough guys, some real leaders of men and on this team. And if I gotta wait 3-4 more years till the Dolphins are actually a really good team and built from the trenches out, then I will, because I done waited 30 years and I haven't even watched a playoff game, or seen a playoff win. So it is what it is, man. I think he's still gonna be the coach. I think they're gonna let him ride out for the rest of the season.
Okay. Greg, what's your take?
Should he be? No. Will he be? Yes. Yeah, I one of Ross's, faults, is he's a very loyal guy. All right, and I can appreciate that as a business person, right? As a football coach or a owner of a football team, I'm like, no, get the hell out of here. All right, if you can't do it in 3 years, all right, you're done. All right, so he shouldn't be. All right, this team has really won nothing in the 3
Got
years.
worse.
All right, they've gotten worse.
Yeah,
And
correct.
there's no salvaging this year. All right, so at this point, you should start making changes as early as possible. But he won't, because he's loyal to his people.
Yeah, I agree. Curtis, what do you think?
I think he's very loyal, but I also think he's very smart, just not when it comes to football. I think McDaniel they used their analytics and marketing department to find out who in the bottom barrel they could get through. And they found McDaniel and his Woody Allen guys would be in something that the fans could go, hey, he's not like bad guy Flores has got dead bodies in the basement, and they could sell it and get the 30% ticket prices raised up. And now, he got the Tua thing going. Now his new purpose is to be the guy he was destined to be, get us our top pick. They won't get rid of him till after the Washington game, because we know Ross wants to tank. He's totally fine with tanking. He's good with going for the pick. And this is just part of the process. If you go back and you look at the construction over the last 2 years, and then you think about the things they were saying, like, we're really feeling this is the best chemistry I've ever seen on a team. This offensive line, we feel so comfortable with it. It's like either they're totally high or out of their minds or so stupid, or they know and they were selling you a lemon, a used car salesman. Oh yeah, don't worry, it's on fire right now, but that's just part of it. Go away. It's still worth it. Go get it. I think they knew after 23. The thing was collapsing. They knew there was no hope, and they were on their way down. And now that the fans are sick of him and the Woody Allen thing is gone, now they don't have to get the flack from the fans. And they're like, let's ride this baby, this mare into the glue factory and get ourselves a top pick so we can get a quarterback. And maybe somebody will want to come here, because nobody wanted to come here. I mean, look at the last coaching cycle.
Nobody wants to stay either.
So I think they're going to ride him into the glue factory, get the pick, because once this thing starts unraveling, he's not going to keep it together, and they want to lose. I mean, what's the point, really, from their standpoint? They need to lose. If they don't lose, they're doomed. They need a top 5 pick. So it's ride him, baby, ride. That's my take.
I don't think they expected Mike McDaniel to do this well with what they gave him. I know they went and got him Tyreek and everything, but come on, man, this dude wasn't even an offensive coordinator. So I don't think they even expect him to do this well. They probably were just like, oh, yeah, let's just get through a season or two and then call it.
No one wanted to come here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're calling Craig up. Hey, Craig, come on.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey,
you know what?
Might be right, Adrian.
Week 1
right.
players only meeting. That's all you got to say about this season.
Oh, that's it, man.
I tell people this all the time. I can be the GM or the head coach of a team that doesn't win.
That is very true.
Right, beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's poetry.
Well, this is why I got you guys on here, because honestly, guys, I have no clue what they're going to do. I've heard your side, Adrian. I've heard what Greg has said. I've heard what Curtis has said. I still don't know what the hell they're going to do. This organization, I just don't know. If anything, I believe that Mike McDaniel will definitely be the scapegoat. That's for sure. Whether it be in the middle of the season, the end of the season, after the Buffalo game, I don't know. But I think he will be the first one to go. And I'm sorry to say, I don't think Greer's going anywhere. That's just my take. That's why my focus at this stage for Finn fans is not to ride Tua as the end all be all, or McDaniel's the end all be all, because they'll sacrifice him. That's what they did to Flores. That's what they did to Gase. This is what they do. They use people as human shields to keep the Teflon one still in power. If Grier is still here, you can't ride that one. You got to be unified. Yeah, okay, get rid of Tua. That's fine. Okay, yeah, get rid of McDaniel, definitely. Okay, yeah, but you got to get rid of Grier. He can't come back. It has to be a non-negotiable contract between the fans, among themselves, and this organization, because they will. So, he's just doing what the coach told me. This is what he wanted. And he's a liar. Yeah. No, I agree. He should go. But and I'll just throw this out there. I don't think he is going to go. And one of the reasons why I don't think he's going to go is because he's got a lot of skeletons in Stephen Ross's closet, or he knows what those skeletons are in his closet.
I can't take that. That hurt, man. What you're saying to me right now is it's like ripping my soul out and my cojones and my heart and brain at the same time. It is insufferable beyond comprehension.
I'm sorry, Curtis. I'm sorry, man. I got to give our Dolphins a dose of reality. I just don't. I mean, I agree with you 100%, but I don't want fans, fans that are not on this Grier ship to think that he's going to be gone, right? That he's going to be gone. I just don't. I don't see it. And like Greg said, he's Ross is loyal to a fault. He's loyal to a fault, and he's not going to get rid of Chris Grier. McDaniel, yes. Tua, this might be his last year.
Contractually, they can't get rid of him till 27.
Yeah,
no, they can get rid of him. They can get rid of him.
It's 11 million dead and 60 million. No, it's like 60 million dead and minus 11. They would have it too.
Did you remember what happened to Russell Wilson in Denver? They got rid of him.
But they weren't as broke. We're dead broke.
Yeah. We are.
Dead, I think we got another 20 or 30 dead million money next year.
Okay, now you're taking my hope.
We beat
Curtis,
2000.
now you're taking my hopium away, okay?
Sorry, I don't mean to do that. But you got me with the Greer thing. You deserve it.
I know.
Trapped in
can't.
for another couple messed up years with the Dolphins, man. That's it.
Yeah,
That's
I
cruel,
agree.
man. That's cruel.
I know. I know.
I would feel so
anyway.
good. I literally feel like we won the Super Bowl if Greer's canned and everybody's canned. I would feel
I would too.
free. I'd feel happy.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I agree 100%.
Sorry,
Adrian.
I'm on a rant. Apologize.
No, you're good. You're good, man. I love it. I love it, man. Adrian, what do you got going on at Rainy Day Podcast?
All right. First, I want to thank you, Steve, and I want to thank Curtis.
man.
Obviously,
Welcome.
had a great conversation with Curtis after the Indianapolis game. That was awesome. Greg, it was nice to meet you. I have been watching you on FTSN, so it's great to meet you, brother. I have some preview to the Florida Gators Miami Hurricanes game on Friday. I'll be live with Will from 305 Sports Now.
Oh yeah,
And
love
then,
Will.
of course, Saturday I got my wrestling show. We'll be doing a pre-show and a post-show for that, for WrestlePalooza, which is the ESPN's first show.
Is the
for
Ultimate Warrior
WWE.
in that thing? Is the Ultimate Warrior in
Nope.
that thing? That's my guy.
So
yeah, that's it, man.
all right. So Adrian, do you have a prediction for the game at Thursday night?
Yeah, I
Score-
said it
score
the other night. 45, and I think we'll get 20 just because we'll score some in garbage time. But most of the game will be getting blown out. That's what I think.
Okay. All right. Ace per head, Mr. Ace per head, Curtis. What you got going on over there, brother?
Well, I'm on the Steve Malloy show tonight. You got to check me out. I'm with Adrian and Greg, so that's going to be great. So definitely check me out there. That'd be the first thing you do. I do the Twitter thing, but not really. I'm on YouTube, Ace per Head, the thing behind me, Curtis. I'm also on with George, Finn's Faithful Podcast, and he does a great job.
Another good one.
I'm with him on Saturdays at 10:30. He's awesome. That channel's great. So that's what I do, besides being a jackass.
Except for, taking away the hopium little hopium that I did have. Okay.
Hey, I created the term hopium. I can give it and
Yes,
take
you
it
did.
away.
You did coin that term. You definitely coined that term. Hey, let's not forget about Finn Sammy over there at Finn's TV.
Yeah,
as
man,
well.
they're on right
Great
now.
show. He's awesome.
Yeah,
Go check it out
great
after
guy.
this.
Another good show. Yep. Thank you, Adrian, for that. Greg, what you got going on with us? With the Finn's Sports Network?
Yeah, Evan and I are still trying to get the overtime show going with
Nice.
Brett.
Okay.
It just it's life right now. He's got kids in sports and things like that, and it's just occupying most of his nights. So, but I've been after the Indy game, I was on the post game show here on the Finn's Talk Sports Network.
Yep.
I didn't have the heart to do it after the Patriot game. I was just like, I'm not going to do it this time. So, but yeah, we're hanging in there. We got a couple shows we're hoping to get done this week. So we'll see.
All right. So
Let's
you're
go.
a floater, right? You're a floater right now.
I'm a floater right now.
All right, I got you. And Curtis, man, he's everywhere, man. There isn't a podcast I turn on. I don't think he's in nowadays. So
I'm
happy
easy.
for you,
I'm cheap and easy. That's why. Cheap and
Same,
easy.
brother.
Don't go anywhere. Hey, you need me? I'm there. Give me a bag of chips, roll.
I want to thank everybody that was in the chat tonight. A lot of good comments in there. I don't see a lot of the names in there now. I can't go back and see them, but whoever was in here, I appreciate you for joining tonight. If you were new to this channel and you like the content that was here, please hit that subscribe button, share with your friends, your families, and your neighbors. And I just want to make mention, I don't talk about this very often because I just don't. But we do have super chat. So if anybody is inclined to donate to the channel with a super chat, we'd be happy if you did that. That would be really, really appreciated. But anyway, guys, I'll be here again next week, same time, same channel. And you can catch me here at the Finn's Talk Sports Network. And hopefully better days ahead with this one. Okay, guys, I'm done with you guys, man.
It's over.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Fins up.
Austin.
Fins up.